Breaking news from the Orzhov district. Beloved community leader Mayor McCheese was found dead earlier today during a party. In response to this devastating incident, authorities have locked down the premises and are in contact with a man named Moot, who claims to be performing his own investigation of the murder.
Okay everyone, first things first. Who killed Mayor McCheese? I guess we'll have to do it the hard way then. Thip, the community has voted you as the most likely killer. How do you plead? I see. That takes a lot to admit something like that. Sorry you had to say that in front of everyone. Please, go take a seat. What's up, Planeswalkers? How you doing? Today, I have something special cooked up. We're looking at the new NIv-Mizzet. That's right, it's 5-color time, so hide your wallet. The new NIv-Mizzet Guildpact is a Wooburg 6/6 dragon avatar that comes with some protection, and whenever NIv-Mizzet Guildpact deals combat damage to a player, it deals X damage to any target player draws X cards, and you gain X life, where X is the number of different color pairs among permanents you control that are exactly 2 colors. So we'll want to stick to a multicolored spell strategy. That means, unfortunately with this NIv, we can't throw a Curiosity on it and call it a night. But honestly, this card does look fun and can be very powerful when you consider the cards that work with it. So our strategy today will be to buy time using various control strategies until we cast our commander and hit a player and then outvalue our opponents. Now before I get started, I do viewer requests, so if you have a commander you want covered, leave a comment or join our channel Discord. Starting off our creatures, we have Deathrite Shaman, as it counts for our commander's trigger and can help us ramp or remove problems out of the graveyard. Baleful Strix is a useful blocker that comes with a card. And I'll just say this now, most of our creatures we're playing except 2 will be exactly 2 colors, so they work with our commander's damage trigger. I won't mention it again. Coiling Oracle can ramp us, and worst case, it'll get us closer to land by drawing a card. Hajar, Loyal Bodyguard, because the majority of our creatures are legendary, so this gives us some extra protection. Jensen, Carthun, Druid Exile, which lets us scribe when we play most of our spells, and when we play our commander we get a free angel, and more importantly this card filters our mana so that we can play our commander. Utho, Corrupt Sheriff, to ramp us into our commander. Pippin, Guard of the Citadel, is more protection for our commander. Ruby, Daring Tracker, is a mana dork that can get bigger once we have a 4-power creature. Fey Barrow Elder to make a bunch of mana. General Ferris will help us make a Golem army, and these Golems are Boros colored, and that is actually a bonus in this deck. Glissa Sunslayer has vicious keywords, making her almost impossible to block. She comes with a lot of good utility, but most of the time we'll want an extra card. Klothys, God of Destiny, similar to Deathrite Shaman, will keep graveyards in check while ramping us. Knight of Autumn to remove artifacts and enchantments. Leyline Prowler is an expensive mana dork, but importantly it's 2 colors, so we're going to be playing it. Oro, Titan of Nature's Wrath, will ramp us, and if we don't pick on our own graveyard, then we can play this card again, and it does a lot of work. Hansrag, the Quake Mole, a new card that gives us an extra combat, which is important when our commander needs to deal combat damage to do its thing. Aragorn the Uniter, which naturally works well when almost all your spells are multicolored. Urtai Resurrected to stop a lot of the shenanigans that our opponents may get up to. Honestly, this card in practice is actually almost always useful, and I've never had a moment where I didn't like it being in my hand. Hostage Taker, so that if our opponents have any nice toys, we can take them for ourselves. Inga and Asika is a great way to make sure that we can cast our commander, and the extra card if we tap our creatures is nice. Iroas, God of Victory, to make combat against our creatures really hard. Importantly, this gives our commander menace so it can connect easier. Knight of New Alar will make our commander 2-shot players out of the game, and all the tokens we make except with Aragorn are multicolored. Honestly, this card is pretty sweet in this deck. If you don't feel like reading it, it buffs our creatures based on how many colors they are. Notion Thief, which makes Urtai even more brutal, but in most cases this card turns off a lot of combos and makes you the biggest target at the table. People love their cards, so be prepared to die for them. NIv-Mizzet Reborn for a hand refill. Xenaghost, God of Revels, to make sure our commander has haste and can kill players really fast. It also technically gives us a combo, a Christmas Miracle combo, but a combo still. Aurelia the War Leader is for the extra combat, and this card is more reliable than the Mole, but the Mole has the coolness factor. The Locust God, because we plan to draw a lot of cards, and this card is great at giving you a lot of attackers. Plus, the tokens are Izzet colored for the Knight of New Alara, so again, they're gonna be pretty buff. Now, before I get into the spells, I want to let you know that this version of Niv doesn't require spells to be multicolored, but I still made all our spells multicolored so that they'd work with other cards we play. First, we have Assassin's Trophy, which is a great permanent removal. Boros Charm for the protection of our board. Counter Squall is a great multicolored negate. Dovin's Veto for those tricky non-creature spells. Farseek and Nature's Lore, which breaks the rule that I literally just talked about, but they are too valuable as ramp pieces since we're playing Triomes. Growth Spiral for instant speed ramp, Rakdos Charm for artifact or graveyard removal, plus getting a kill with this card is never not funny. Reborn Hope to return almost any card in our deck. Anguished Unmaking for some exile removal on problem permanents. Ionize as a hard counter to any spell. Prismari Command, which has great utility, and the Treasure mode will always help us play a lot of our cards if we're struggling to get our colors. Vindicate is more permanent removal, this time though we can actually get lands with it. Decimate to set a player back to the Stone Age if we want to, but I'd recommend spending Love unless you want to get targeted for the rest of the night. Allrune's Searing Light, which is some sweet exile removal that hits every opponent, and honestly, if you have Spell Mastery, this card is downright busted. Supreme Verdict if we need to clear the way before we play our commander. Bring to Light, which is great when you're playing 5 colors because we can get some busted stuff, especially if you consider that our NIv-Mizzet Reborn is 5 mana. Time Wipe as an added precaution, plus we have a few cards with good ECBs that we can return. For the artifacts and enchantments, I'll be starting with the ramp. First we have Arcane Signet, Fell Warstone since we need every color, Chromatic Lantern which will help us fix our mana, Firemind Vessel, Timeless Lotus, and Tome of the Guildpact, which lets us draw cards whenever we cast a multicolored spell. For everything else, we have Bard class, which gives us a discount on our commander and a few other creatures, with the final chapter getting us a lot of card advantage. Lightning Greaves because haste is important for our commander and the protection is better than the one the Niv comes with. Case of the Shattered Pack, which if we control our commander, then we solve this case and it'll make our commander lethal in 2 hits. Urza's Filter to give all our spells a big discount, and 4 mana Locust God sounds good to me. Fires of Yavimaya for even more haste. Dragon Arch lets us play any creature in our deck for 2 mana. Mana Cannons, which is our way to burn our opponents out of the game just by playing our spells. Prosperous Partnership to give us another way to make sure that we can cast our commander. Trust me, when you're playing 5 colors, you're going to want to make sure that you can get all your colors. Rhythm of the Wild for even more haste, but the protection from the counters is a valid reason to play this card. Widespread Thievery for even more treasures and a free spell for the trouble. And finally, Mirari's Wake to give us a bunch of mana to go crazy with. For the Manabase, I'd recommend taking out a second mortgage and selling your kidney, but if you'd like to copy a Manabase, then feel free to use the one found in the deck list in the description of this video. My land recommendation is the World Tree, as it'll fix our colors if we have 6 lands on the battlefield, and we do play a decent number of gods to fetch with it. For the combo section, which I didn't intend to put a combo in this deck as I wanted this to be more of a battle cruiser type of deck, but this is technically a way to one-shot someone if they don't have a flying blocker. So here's how it works. We'll need our commander, Knight of New Alara, and Xenaghost, God of Revels on the battlefield. The Knight will make our commander an 11/11 creature, and if we target our commander with Xenaghost's trigger, it becomes a 22/22, meaning it can now deal lethal commander damage to a player. That's going to be all for today's video. Let me know how I did or tell me about your favorite NIv-Mizzet in the comments below. If you want more Magic content, I have a gameplay channel in the description. Either way, I'll see you in the next video. Peace.